Hello, Steve White, Trek Boy 89 for Steve Arts 89. There are some wonderful rumours surrounding Star Trek at the moment. The rumours are, and it's sort of two-sided, is that the Hollywood strikes have allowed the studios and the producers a chance to sort of step back and reevaluate Star Trek and realise that perhaps they're not going in the best direction, and perhaps Kurtzman isn't the best person to be, leading the franchise. That they learned from Star Trek Picard Season 3 that it actually doesn't take much to make the fans happy, and they're wanting to make a Star Trek Legacy series, but they can't make Legacy while Kurtzman has these other shows in production because they just can't afford to have that many Star Trek shows in production. So the talk is that they're going to freeze his future productions, not go forward with Starfleet Academy in the 31st century, or they've already cancelled, Section 31 and reduced it down to a movie. And the rumour is that they're going to reduce Strange New Worlds Season 3, cancel that, and basically just make a TV movie, and basically maybe even one TV movie to sort of get out of Michelle Yeoh's contract and sort of wrap up Strange New Worlds with just a TV movie or maybe two TV movies. So that's one rumour. The other rumour is that they're just going to get rid of Kurtzman, that they are just going to wait him out. But then, like I said, they're not going to greenlight any more of his projects and not going to go forward with any of his projects, and just allow him to finish Strange New Worlds and do his Section 31 movie with Michelle Yeoh, and then just let the contract end. Because the other side of the rumour is that he basically saw the writing on the wall and came in to renegotiate his contract, because they renegotiated his contract a year or so ago and extended it to 2026, which was a huge mistake, and now they're stuck with that. Because he's a bit of a grifter and he sells himself really well, and he convinced them, he promised a lot of things, because part of the reason why they brought a production company in for the Star Trek movies and then the TV shows was because there were the contract issues, of course, at the time before the companies merged again. But they just needed also needed a third party for funding, and they have failed with that. They have not been able to get Star Trek 4 produced. Paramount Plus is basically paying for everything now, so they don't really need Kurtzman and his production company for anything. They can bring the show back in-house, do it themselves, do it the way that they want, do it for the fans, instead of doing Kurtzman's version, and that they'll be better off for it, that fans will actually return, that fans who have left will come back, and the fans that are there will be happier with more traditional Star Trek, because Kurtzman's approach of just throwing everything at the wall, seeing what sticks, and just doing all these different shows and all these different genres for all these different audiences, the theory that they would attract all the different areas of the general audience to Star Trek with all these different versions, and really just what they're doing is watering it down and confusing the general audience, because they don't know where they are, they don't have any idea what's happening. Us long-term Star Trek fans who, are intelligent, can actually, keep, a grasp of, where the show is and all the different time periods and time frames and universes and so forth. But the general audience member coming in just really doesn't have any idea what's happening. So what they want to do is just simplify it, cut it down to one, maybe two shows in one, maybe two eras. And obviously the first sort of choice is the Next Generation era, progressing year to year with our time, and growing and changing and going in that direction with Legacy, and going back and sort of staying in that sort of sweet spot between the Cage era and the sort of pre-motion picture sort of second Kirk 5-year mission, which we never saw, and just sort of staying in that area. So you have your traditional sort of Star Trek from that era, and then you have the sort of Next Generation Legacy, progressive sort of moving with our time sort of Star Trek, and that's sort of, because you really need more than one show. If you're just going to do 10 episodes a year, you need more than one show, and you can have more than one show going, but you can't have like 5 shows. They can't afford to spend 100, 150, $200 million on an experiment to see if they can bring in a new genre or section of the general audience to Star Trek. They already know what the Star Trek audience is and the fan base is. They just need to cater to that, and they will give them money. Because that's the thing, fans like me, we actually give them money. Like, I loved Star Trek Picard Season 3. I'm buying the Blu-rays. I paid for Paramount Plus to watch it. If you bring, if you give Star Trek to us, we'll pay for it. Whereas the new Star Trek fans that have grown this fan base of new Trek fans, they don't really buy merchandise. They're a different breed of people, different breed of fan, and they don't really give them the money that they want. So they're not as useful, and a lot of them will stick with Star Trek anyway, even if they do change it and legacy and all that. So that's apparently it's the direction they're going in, and I think this sounds believable, and I actually have a little bit of hope that this could happen, because they don't have to make a lot of changes to fix Star Trek. They can do it, work within what's already established, and make Star Trek, Star Trek again, which is what I'm hoping will eventually happen. So I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I'm at least listening to these rumours,